I want to express again my sorrow for the tragic death of a 16-year-old student, Darlington County School District. Like most 16-year-olds, trying to be the best version of themselves. Unfortunately, tragically, that was taken away from them. We pray for the family. We also pray for our students and staff that were impacted on Tuesday from the building itself, the campus, as well as several other buildings around the school district. It was a very difficult, stressful experience for all involved. I also want to thank again our school SROs, our administrators, our teachers, our staff, and our students, how they handled the emergency moment. We train continuously, all of our staff and our students, to be prepared for an emergency moment like this. And I commend all of the folks and the job that they did. Along with our SROs, I also want to thank our law enforcement agencies, City of Darlington, Sheriff's Department, for the quick response to the emergency, as well as how they led us through that day. Again, we always follow law enforcement's directive, but we work collaboratively hand in hand in everything we do together. And the last thing I'd like to mention is this isn't the first time that we've had to talk about a tragic death of a teenager in Darlington County. And it does not need to become a normal conversation. It should never be a normal conversation. We can't fix this by ourselves. We need help from across our communities. We can't fix this by ourselves. We need help from across our communities. We need our churches, we need our elected officials, our businesses, our nonprofits to help us address the violence that's happening outside of our schools. And we also need to do everything in our power to make sure that our schools are a safe place for our students and our staff. That I will turn it over to our law enforcement partners.
Good afternoon. Darlington Police Department, the City of Darlington, we are saddened by this violence. We do feel for the family of this young man. The community and law enforcement is tired of the violence, of this type of violence. I mean, we know that the community is tired of it based on the number of tips and information that we are receiving. We can tell that the community is definitely tired of this. I mean, we thank them, but we still need more help, continued help. Tuesday's event, officers responded immediately and enforced. The sheriff's office responded immediately and enforced. The school district did everything that they were supposed to do, they had trained to do, and minimize this incident from getting any worse than it could have been. Again, I thank the sheriff's office and the school district for their help and response to this event.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, here we are again. Unfortunate situation, but make no mistake about it. As your sheriff of Darlington County, we are here to support the city of Darlington and the school district, and we will be here until duration. We will bring these persons to justice. We'll continue to work hard for all of the citizens of Darlington County, and I have been receiving tips and phone calls myself, and I want to thank all those persons who have been reaching out to me, and I'm going to take their advice. And you will see some changes coming to Darlington County. We're going to slow this down. We're going to get a grip on it somehow. And we ask that anybody who wants to help, please help. But we will get a grip on this. This will change. This will change. Thank you so much.
Are you all looking at security changes? Are you all looking at what the security was and what the security could have been in this situation?
Yes, sir. Anytime there's any type of event, we always go back and we look at what we did and what we could have done differently. So there'll be some changes throughout the entire operation with law enforcement, for sure. Myself and Chief Davis will be working closely together. Also be working closely with the Police Chief of Hartsville, and that we will extend that olive branch to the school district. So whatever changes that needs to be made to make things better, we will do that. But one of the changes that I want to see is the behavior of some of the citizens of this county. That's where the problem's coming from. It's not coming from law enforcement. It's not coming from the people who's trying to educate our kids. It's coming from those people who do not want to abide by man's law.
Will there be extra security at the schools? Like I know 2 schools yesterday, according to the information that I received, were still closed as a result of Tuesday's deadly shooting. So will there be extra security at the schools? I don't know if it's a county issue or if it's Chief Davis.
I don't know why the schools were closed. That's a school district question. As far as extra security, we have talked with the school district, and we are, I'm not going to want to say negotiating, we are entertaining more officers at the schools.
Is there extra security at the schools today, Darlington High School in particular? And if the Education Center and
Yes,
Intervention School?
The Darlington High School game the venue has been changed to Crestwood tonight. Is change of venue going to be a frequent thing in your security plans?
Friday night.
Friday night, right.
Yeah, I would say just in response to the immediate situation that we're dealing with, we just felt it would be best for our student athletes for them to be able to play away. Want them to be able to conduct themselves as a student athlete instead of having to worry as much about maybe some things that are going on in the community around right
What about homecoming? Is that too early?
now. No decisions have been made at this point in time. We're just dealing with Friday night at this point in time. But certainly conversations will be taking place over the next couple of weeks.
Is the adult school back open, the adult education school, and back open today?
So our adult education facility is closed through the end of the week. And our DCIS, or intervention school, they're on e-learning, so there's no students in the building. They will be back, both of those buildings will be back on Monday. Yes, we will have extra law enforcement presence for those buildings.
Whoever answers this. But my next question, and forgive me if it's, when it comes to nearby students who are close to, such as Darlington-Lee campus, ton of houses, a ton of apartments, what's next for other students?
Hopefully, we can bring the culprits of Tuesday's event and to justice and put them in jail, and show everyone that if this is the way that you're going to act, this is what's going to happen to you, and that will ease that problem. I know that area. We do have patrols in that area. We have discussed increasing patrols, but it's not just one area. It is every town, every community, in every county, and if you look in every state. As citizens of Darlington, we need to come together and tell criminals that we've had enough. It's time to stop it.
While you're there at the podium, have you all found the silver 2017 Honda?
I prefer not to answer that right now. That is still an investigation going on, and I don't want to give that answer out yet.
Can you say if you're working with Bennettsville Police in connection with the stolen car?
I can. Let me answer your question. Yeah. The tips that come in about the silver car were helpful. It has been located, so we can stop getting tips on the car. It has been located. It has, and we believe this is the car in question. We haven't confirmed it yet.
Yeah, has the car by chance damaged?
I can't confirm that yet. I have not laid eyes on it, nor my officers laid eyes on it yet.
Say where it's located at.
No, sir.
Can you say if it was, and I don't want to push it, can you say if this was the car that was stolen out of Bennettsville, Friday morning, along Highway 9?
I do not know if the time, date, I know that a car was reported missing, stolen from that agency, and I was told that this is that car. But I cannot confirm that.
Who told you that it was that car?
My officers.
Given the reaction of the community, the flood of tips coming in, how do you take that engagement, level of engagement, to the next level to where the community says this is unacceptable? They tell their kids this is the fighting's unacceptable, the shooting's unacceptable. Not how you behave.
With the community, I tell them that this agency, my agency, the sheriff's agency, we can't do it alone. We need their help. We need the parents' help. We need the grandparents' help. We need the pastor's help. We need social services help. We need DJJ help. I don't want to misquote anybody, but it takes a community to raise a child, and every one of them children. I'm sorry. That's our future. I apologize.
Obviously, this is not a short-term solution. This is something that you're going to have to build. Given the level of violence, I'm thinking build from scratch.
Well, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think we just need to get it moving again. We just show everybody that let's get back to it.
This might be a repeat question. Are there cameras at the
I'm able to say that there are cameras at the school, but I cannot discuss anything else about them because they are part of the active investigation.
While you're there, could you
Yes, I'm Dr. Tim Newman, NEWMAN.
my record, that's all.
Is there anything that you can release at all about the details that were involved in the
A young man has lost his life.
Is the school district doing anything to help their students cope? College counseling?
So yes, we have counseling available for students that have been touched by Tuesday's tragic loss. We also have help for the adults, because again, thankfully the adults did an incredible job taking care of our students. Obviously, when it is over, the stress comes off of them. Realize that they have some needs as well. So yes, we have provided counseling for adults that were impacted by Tuesday as well as students.
And you identify the victim.
I cannot. They are a minor, and so unfortunately I cannot give that information out.
You've reached out to the family. How are they coping with this tragic situation?
Just There's no good answer for that. There isn't. And for me to even try to understand, all you can do is pray for them, care for them, just let them know that there's support around.
Can you tell us where the student was enrolled, which on that campus, why the student may have been in the parking lot?
So they were enrolled in the adult ed facility.
This question is for probably both Sheriff Hudson and Chief Davis. There was a situation Friday night, this past Friday night. It was on Highway 52, right at the Florence County line.
Yes, ma'am.
I have been inundated. I saw you out there
Yes, ma'am.
with people asking, saying that the car that ran off the road and down a ravine, that it had been shot at, that the car had bullet holes in it, and that it could be connected to what led up to the incident at the school Tuesday. I mean, is there anything that you can say about that?
Well, we've been gathering information and gathering intel since Friday night, early Saturday morning, and we do believe that there are some connections to these shootings, and we're going to work to make sure that we connect all the dots, and so when we do get enough probable cause to make an arrest, we got solid ground to stand on. But it's gang and drugs, territorial stuff. There's no need to try to hide it. That's what it is. It's gang and drugs, territorial behavior, and they're throwing temper tantrums about who's the big man and who's the little man. And we just have to make sure that we approach this the proper way, because no matter what law enforcement does, a lot of times we're criticized for it. But our job is to make sure that we serve and protect the citizens of this county and of the state of South Carolina. And that's what we're going to do within the sheriff's office, I'm sure, with all agencies around the state. So we're just going to keep working hard to do what we do.
Hey, if shots fired calls last night on Jones Road, and I think it was Bastion Road, are you guys looking into that in connection with what happened? Or just totally isolated events?
No, ma'am, we're looking into that as well. Actually, we made arrests last night from those incidents, and we got drugs and guns last night from those incidents. So it's all drugs and guns related incidents that's taking place, and most of these young men, that's their way of life, and we got to figure out how can we change their way of thinking so they can change their way of life, and that's going to take a lot. As I think one of the reporters said, it's not going to be done overnight. It didn't get this way overnight. I've been doing this almost 29 years now, and I've seen this before, and it takes a lot of work to slow it down, a lot of work, and we're just going to have to get with the program. Pastors going to have to be pastors, community leaders going to have to be community leaders, law enforcement going to have to be law enforcement, school districts going to have to be school district, other elected officials going to have to be elected officials. But at the end of the day, we should all be working for the same common goal, and that's to make sure that we educate our kids, keep our communities safe, and that we can elevate and prosper our communities. That's what we look for, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
You all said, I know your two agencies and SLED are involved. U.S. Marshal Service involved yet?
Well, we have other federal agents that we're going to be meeting with, and you'll see a change in this county. I put it that way.
Do you believe that this incident was related to gang violence, involved with gangs in some way?
Could you repeat your question?
Was the student involved in gangs?
At this time, we believe that these incidents are gang, drug related, and everything is still up under investigation.
What is the risk to the public
What is the risk to the public?
related to this violence?
Well, it's one of those things where you just got to be watchful, and you got to stay prayed up. I have a family too. Let's not forget about that. So my family, I live in this community as well. I have a wife, I have kids, I have brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles that live in this community as well. So we're not going to isolate them from not taking a chance on getting hurt either. But this is about all of us, not just some of us. This is about all of us. So let's not make sure we keep that in mind, that everybody lives in this community, not just some people.
Last questions?
Well, I believe that we need to continue to pray for those families that are in grieving. And let's not forget that either. You know, mistakes are made every day, and none of us are perfect, and none of our kids are perfect. And we need to continue to pray for those who are in need and are less fortunate than we are. And we not need to forget that either. So we just need to make sure that we stay focused on what's right and what's wrong, and be open-minded to things that are going on within our community, and not to be so quick to judge, because tomorrow it could be you.